After the tragic death of Padmé Amidala, Darth Vader found himself at a crossroads. The galaxy was changing rapidly under the iron grip of the Empire, and yet amidst the cold machinery of his new existence, a faint flicker of humanity lingered within him. When he learned of the birth of his twins, Luke and Leia, something stirred deep within, something Anakin Skywalker had thought lost. Against all odds, he defied Emperor Palpatine's suggestion to eliminate them as potential threats and instead resolved to raise them himself. The galaxy would soon come to feel the impact of his decision. The choice was not made lightly. Vader's bond to the Emperor was rooted in pain, manipulation, and his fall to the dark side. But the revelation of his children awakened dormant emotions he could not ignore. He knew the Emperor would consider the twins' pawns to exploit or destroy, and Vader refused to allow such a fate. Secrecy was vital. He fabricated a story that the children had perished with Padmé, and with his commanding presence and newfound rank, no one dared question him. Vader relocated to a distant fortress hidden on a remote planet, far from Coruscant's prying eyes. The twins grew up in an isolated yet strangely nurturing environment. Despite his dark nature, Vader was determined to ensure his children were protected, educated, and prepared for the galaxy's harsh realities. Their upbringing was unconventional, blending a rigid discipline with moments of unexpected warmth. Luke, adventurous and curious, constantly sought to explore beyond the confines of their home. Leia, in contrast, was sharp and assertive, questioning the world with an innate sense of justice. Though they were too young to understand the true extent of their father's duality, they both felt the weight of his authority. He was both protector and mystery, a towering figure whose rare moments of affection were deeply cherished. Vader, while harsh at times, could never bring himself to crush their spirits entirely. The Force was an ever-present undercurrent in their lives. Vader began training them in its use early, teaching them to harness both their raw potential and their emotions. His methods were intense, emphasizing control and power, but he was careful not to fully immerse them in the darkness that consumed him. Perhaps it was a subconscious hope that they might avoid his mistakes. The training forged an unbreakable bond between the siblings and their father, though it also planted seeds of tension as their individual paths began to diverge. As the years passed, Luke and Leia's understanding of the galaxy grew. Leia, with her sharp intellect and natural leadership, often questioned Vader about the Empire. Her father, though proud of her strength, dismissed her inquiries with cryptic remarks, unwilling to expose her to the full extent of his role within the regime. Luke, on the other hand, was more focused on mastering the Force and proving himself in his father's eyes, though he shared Leia's growing unease about their isolated existence. The siblings' relationship deepened as they grew older, marked by moments of unity and conflict. Leia's determination to uncover the truth about their father clashed with Luke's loyalty, leading to heated arguments. Despite this, they were inseparable, relying on each other in ways only twins could. Their shared experiences under Vader's watchful eye made them stronger, but also more curious about the galaxy they had been sheltered from. Eventually, the isolation could not last. The galaxy was a turbulent place, and whispers of rebellion reached even their hidden sanctuary. Leia, drawn to the ideals of freedom and justice, began to question her father more openly. Vader, sensing her defiance, tried to temper her rebellious nature but found himself unable to quell her fiery spirit. Luke, while less vocal, was equally affected by the stories of the Empire's atrocities. The twins' curiosity grew into a desire for action, and their once unshakable trust in their father began to waver. For Vader, this was a moment of reckoning. The choices he made years ago to protect his children now threatened to unravel. He had shielded them from the Empire's cruelty, but in doing so, he had also kept them from understanding his own part in it. The confrontation was inevitable. One fateful day, Leia demanded answers, challenging Vader's authority in a way no one else had dared. The clash was fierce, marked by Leia's fearless accusations and Vader's attempts to justify his actions as necessary for peace. Luke, caught between his sister's defiance and his father's imposing presence, struggled to mediate. The exchange forced Vader to confront the depth of his children's disillusionment. he realized that his efforts to protect them had also built walls between them. It was in this moment that a flicker of Anakin Skywalker resurfaced. Perhaps, he thought, raising his children in isolation was a mistake. Perhaps they deserved to see the galaxy for themselves, even if it meant risking their safety. And so, reluctantly, Vader allowed Luke and Leia to venture beyond their secluded home. He accompanied them on a controlled exploration of the galaxy, ensuring their exposure was limited and supervised. Yet the experience only fueled their hunger for freedom. The twins witnessed the harsh realities of Imperial rule, the fear, the oppression, and the suffering, and their perspectives shifted irreversibly. For Leia, it solidified her resolve to fight for change, while Luke struggled to reconcile his loyalty to his father with his growing understanding of the Empire's darkness. This period of discovery brought both clarity and tension to their relationship with Vader. Leia's determination to resist the Empire put her at odds with her father, who still viewed control as the only path to peace. Luke, torn between his admiration for Vader and his desire to forge his own identity, began to question the morality of the dark side. The bond between the siblings strengthened as they supported each other through these revelations, but their father's influence loomed large over their choices. The galaxy, meanwhile, had not forgotten Vader. Palpatine grew suspicious of his apprentice's motives, sending agents to investigate rumors of Vader's hidden family. When the Emperor finally uncovered the truth, he sought to exploit the situation, aiming to turn the twins into powerful allies, or destroy them if they refused. Vader, realizing the danger, was forced to make a choice. Would he continue to serve the Emperor and risk losing his children, or would he defy his master and protect them at all costs? Faced with the gravest decision of his life, Darth Vader experienced a profound internal conflict. For decades, his loyalty to the Emperor had been unwavering, driven by anger, guilt, and fear. But his connection to Luke and Leia had awakened something long dormant within him, a remnant of the man he once was. The revelation of the Emperor's intentions left no room for compromise. For the first time since his fall, Vader resolved to defy his master. The confrontation with Palpatine was inevitable. When Vader refused to turn the twins over to the Emperor, it became a battle of wills and power. Palpatine, ever the manipulative strategist, sought to exploit Vader's vulnerabilities, accusing him of weakness and warning that his children would only betray him. But Vader's resolve was unshaken. The children were his legacy, and he would not allow them to be used as pawns in the Emperor's schemes. Luke and Leia, though unprepared for the scale of what was unfolding, stood by their father. Leia, now fully aware of the stakes, refused to be a passive participant. She urged her brother to unite with her against the Emperor, convincing Luke that their power was strongest when they stood together. Though hesitant, Luke agreed, and the siblings prepared to fight alongside Vader. The battle between Vader and the Emperor was monumental. The clash of dark side energies reverberated through the Force, a cataclysmic struggle that threatened to tear apart the fragile balance of the galaxy. Palpatine, ever cunning, sought to turn Luke and Leia against their father, tempting them with promises of power and freedom. But the bond between the twins and Vader proved unbreakable. Together, they fought with a blend of raw potential and disciplined skill, their connection to the Force amplifying their abilities. Ultimately, it was the unity of the Skywalker family that tipped the scales. Vader, bolstered by his children's strength, overcame the darkness that had enslaved him for so long. In a final act of defiance, he struck down the Emperor, sacrificing himself in the process. As the life faded from his mechanical body, Vader, now Anakin Skywalker once more, looked upon his children with pride and a rare sense of peace. He had redeemed himself through them, ensuring their future would not be bound by the same chains that had ensnared him. The aftermath of the Emperor's death sent shockwaves through the galaxy. The Empire, though weakened, was far from defeated. Luke and Leia, now orphaned but deeply bonded by their shared ordeal, faced a monumental task. Their father's legacy was a heavy burden, but also a beacon of hope. The siblings vowed to honor his memory by forging their own path, a path that balanced justice with compassion, power with restraint. Leia, drawing upon her natural leadership and fiery determination, began to align herself with the growing rebellion. Her exposure to the Empire's atrocities had galvanized her resolve to fight for freedom. Luke, meanwhile, sought a deeper understanding of the Force. The lessons imparted by Vader and their shared experiences had left him questioning the true nature of light and dark. He embarked on a journey to uncover the remnants of Jedi knowledge, hoping to restore balance not just to himself, but to the galaxy. Though their paths diverged, Luke and Leia remained inseparable in spirit. They often reflected on their father's choices and the sacrifices he had made to protect them. Vader's influence, though fraught with complexity, had shaped them into who they were. He had taught them strength, resilience, and the importance of forging their own destiny. As the twins stepped into their new roles, the galaxy began to change. Their efforts inspired others to rise against the remnants of the Empire, and their bond became a symbol of hope in a fractured universe. Together, they carried the legacy of both Anakin Skywalker and Padmé Amidala, a legacy of redemption, love, and the enduring power of family.